Hey, hey, hey. You know what day it is? What day is it today? It's Tuesday Tea with D. Come on, Tuesday Tea with D. Come on, Tuesday Tea with D. Come on, Tuesday Tea with D. It's Tuesday Tea with D. Yes, Tuesday Tea with D. Yes, Tuesday Tea with D. Yes, Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Happy Tuesday. It's your girl, your coach, your life purpose generator, your purpose provoker, I Speak Life mentor, coming to you with another dose, another serving of tea. Tuesday Tea with D. And today, well, I'm going to say over the next 3 weeks, I'm going to be sharing something really juicy with you. And it's actually a blast from the past. So before I even get into that, I'm going to take a sip of this tea. It's a little warm. Oh, but it's good. It's got the honey and the lemon. I actually have my green tea with ginger and my peppermint tea, but I also added my green tea with turmeric. I don't know if you say it turmeric or turmeric, but however you say it, it's in my tea. And it's snowy outside, it's cold, and so around this time, I always like to drink things that protect my throat because that's how I share, that's how I make money. And so I just try to make sure that I'm always like soothing my throat and that kind of thing. So the tea is good today. So getting back to today's episode, today's conversation, we're talking about 7 ways to minimize the madness in your life. 7 ways to minimize the madness in your life. Why are we talking about 7 ways to minimize the madness in your life? Well, really, because almost 10 years ago, I did a monthly coaching call, a monthly motivational coaching call every single month for about a year to a year and a half. And one particular month, March in particular, I think it was March 2024, I did something called the 7 ways to minimize the madness in your life. And it was really a play on March Madness. Go figure, right? So what I'm going to do is, because I'm not going to be able to get through all 7 today, because I give y'all a little like 10-15 minute snippets, maybe a little bit more than that. And so what I'll do is I'm going to be doing 2 or 3 each week, right? And so I'll do the first 2 this week, which are really juicy because, honey, they are like a confirmation to what I teach all the time. They're a confirmation to what I just taught in a most recent workshop, masterclass, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But the other thing that I want to share before I even jump into that is I want to share that this specific Tuesday Tea with D, Tuesday Tea with D, can we slow it down? I think I'm a little excited, y'all. Is brought to you by the I Speak Life Inner Circle, which is my membership and my mentorship community of faith that helps push, provoke, and propel overwhelmed and overthinking Christian women to get out of their own way and get equipped so that they can take their next best step in life, business, and ministry. We've got access to monthly training and teaching. There's monthly accountability and goal setting through our co-working sessions. There's expert trainings. And then there's also a private community. There's so much more. But just for the sake of today, I will just say if you have questions or if that's something that you are interested in, I will tell you to go and enroll. You can see in the link scrolling across, the ticker that's scrolling below. It says you can register and get more information at iSpeaklife.innercircle.com, iSpeaklife.innercircle.com. There are almost over 3 years worth of teachings in there. And every single month, God gives me a word to share with the community. And, my mantle in this specific season is really equipping God's daughters, right? And so equipping you to show up at your highest and best self, equipping you to some extent, reconnect with God and reconnect with yourself, equipping you to be prepared, right? For the next level that you're getting ready to go into. And a lot of it is personal development, it's mindset, it's accountability. I don't do a lot of coaching, but when I do, child, you need to be in the room. And so if that's something that you're interested in or you've been hearing me talk about and you want a little bit more information, I'll say go to iSpeaklife.innercircle.com, iSpeaklife.innercircle.com to get the details. It is $470 a month. Nope, $470 for the year, and it's $47 for the month. And so really excited about this year because this is the year that I've decided that I'm going to enroll 100 women in the inner circle. I want 100 women in the inner circle. I want to be helping women take their next best step. I want to be helping women deal with whatever is blocking them taking that next best step, helping them to get unstuck so that they can get started. And this is really a great place to be if private coaching is not something that you're ready for just yet, because private coaching starts at 4 figures with me. So, with that being said, let's talk a little bit about today's conversation on the 7 ways to minimize the madness in your life. And this is part 1, right? So, the first 2, I will say, again, are pretty confirmational. They're like if you've been with me, child, you didn't heard this a number of times, right? But guess what? We can never hear it too much, simply because sometimes we do need those reminders to be able to tell us, like, hey, number 1, you need to be spending more time with God. Either you need to be spending some time or you need to be spending more time with God. And can I tell you that we are in a space where if you are like me and you feel God really enlarging your capacity, stretching you a little bit, really showing you and talking to you in snippets around what is to come, it is going to be extremely important if he's having those same conversations with you that you spend even more time with him. And so a lot of times when we are when things are crazy in our lives, we tend to retreat as opposed to lean into the Father. And I think it's important for us to be able to lean into the Father simply because he knows all, right? He knows the beginning from the end. He's Alpha, he's Omega, right? He is the creator. And so if he is the creator and he created all things and he knows all things and he's everywhere, right? Why not lean into him around what is happening in your life? Like if the madness is happening up, excuse me, I think I have an eyelash that is trying to take my eye out. I could feel it kind of like trying to take over my eye, and I was going to try to keep going, but my eye was like, you got to handle this. So I'm going to keep talking while I do this, which, you know, for the most part, I want to just make sure I can see y'all. So, but if God is the creator, right, and he's the source, right, the ultimate source, and you've got madness going on, you've got chaos going on, you've got confusion and clutter going on, why not tap into the one who knows all? Tap into the one who can give you insight. Tap into the one who sent his Holy Spirit to be the helper, right? Why not ask the helper for help? And so if a light bulb isn't connected to its source of energy, it doesn't work. Right. And so when you limit or minimize the time that you spend with God, you limit and minimize the power that comes from the source, God. Right. And so then sometimes you wonder why you're irritated, why, your energy might be low, why you might be a little lackadaisical in your prayer time and your Bible study. It just means that you have not tapped into the source as often as you should be. Right. And so it's literally like our phones. Right. So when our phone shot at like 5%, honey, we're going to find the charger because listen, we need to make sure that we have power for our phones so that our phones can work. And so we need to be doing the same thing, right? And so for our physical bodies, right, we feed ourselves, water, fruits, vegetables, food. But just with our being, right, our spiritual being, we need to be connected to the one that powers our spirit, and that's God. That's holy with his Holy Spirit, right? So you want to take time to seek God first, right? Because Matthew 6:33 says, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all of these other things will be added to you. A lot of times we're trying to get the things without seeking God, right? Or we're trying to seek the things without seeking the one who actually can give the things or open the door for the things, right? And so, some things will start to fall into place when you start to pull back and really start to lean in and say, okay, God, I need you to give me clarity about this. I need to show me how to declutter this space. I need you to show me who I can talk to in order to get help around this specific situation because, honey, it's getting out of control. And so what you want to do is to get clear on his plan for your life, so that you aren't operating as a scatterbrain. You want to get quiet. You want to listen for that still small voice in order to order your steps and to direct your path. But you also want to be able to be in a space where you do this consistently, not just going to God just to seek him, but the way we reduce the madness, because guess what? Madness is always happening, right? And the word says that there's a peace that he gives, right? That literally peace that surpasses all understanding, right? That comfort your heart and your mind. And so when we're talking about minimizing the madness in your life, let me just say that sometimes spending time with God doesn't take it away, but it gives you a peace that you can be sustained through it, and you can walk through it so that while you're walking through it, it doesn't affect you as if you didn't have, right, your connection. Right, when we're not connected to God, we know things kind of get a little crazy, they get a little chaotic, but there's something about being tapped into the source that even when all hell is breaking out around you, there's a peace inside of you, a joy that's inside of you, that literally you're like, you know what, I'm good, because I know, right, I know who holds my future. I know who started this thing, and I know who will end it. And so if God be for me, who can be against me? Right? Right? If God is for me, he's more than the whole world against me. And so when we have that understanding, then the madness that happens in our lives, we begin to minimize it when we recognize who's more powerful than the madness. That was good. And I can tell you that wasn't in the training 10 years ago. Right? When we understand who actually controls the madness, who actually keeps us in the midst of the madness, then there's less madness, there's less clutter, there's less chaos mentally, because you know spiritually God's got you, right? So the first thing that you want to be doing to minimize the madness in your life is you want to be spending time with God, or you want to be spending more time with God, right? You may have to increase it for this level, this next level that you are being elevated to. And so I want to ask you this question. I'm going to ask a question for every single point, right? Around how you can minimize the madness in your life. And so this one says, how can spending more time with God minimize the madness in your life? Like when you think about what you have going on, when you think about the things that have been happening, I want you to think about how spending time with God can minimize that madness. I want you to journal that, right? Because when you journal and say, man, like, me spending time with God really allows me to dot dot dot. Spending time with God helps me to dot dot dot. Spending time with God actually minimizes dot dot dot. My focus now becomes dot dot dot. Child, I'm helping you, okay? As your coach, I'm asking questions because I can't do the work for you. All right. So, number 2. The second thing that you want to do that I'm going to share today is you can spend some time with yourself. When's the last time, and y'all know I did this, I think a couple of weeks ago. When's the last time you spent time in your own company? You sat in your own company. You enjoyed your own company. When's the last time you did that? There are a lot of women and men out here who do not spend time with themselves. And so because you don't spend time with yourself, you don't have an opportunity to get quiet. You don't have an opportunity to get clear. You don't have an opportunity to get focused. You don't have an opportunity even just to think, right? Or even just to not think, right? You're moving so much and you're interacting with so many people. And sometimes, can I just be honest, you're avoiding. The reason why you don't want to get quiet and you don't want to sit with yourself is really because you know that there's some things that once you sit with yourself, that stuff is going to start to surface or resurface. Things that you have either suppressed or repressed or just put aside, you done swept it under the rug. And you've got to start spending time with yourself, right? Not just to deal with the things, but for some people, and it's so crazy because I know I don't remember saying this in 10 years ago, is that sometimes people tend to get in relationships just because they don't know how to be alone. They don't know how to spend time in their own company. They don't know how to enjoy things by themselves. And so as a coach, there have been often you've heard me say, if you haven't, this may be the first time, when I'm talking to the ladies that I'm coaching, I will ask, when's the last time you spent time by yourself? When's the last time you took yourself out on a date? When's the last time that you took yourself to dinner? When's the last time that you took yourself to the movies and really just enjoyed your own company, right? A lot of times we tend to always want to call on our girlfriends. We want to call on our guy friends. We want to call, we always got to be doing something with someone. Sometimes it's okay to literally, because sometimes the people you spending time with are the ones that's causing the madness. All right, I'm gonna leave that there. Sometimes the reason why you've got madness is because of people in your life. And so sometimes you need to pull back a little bit and ask, okay, what's really, again, right? Ask yourself, what's really going on here? Is there a pattern that I see with the madness is happening? Is it based around the people who I'm around? Is it me, right? Am I the thing, right? Am I the drama? Because sometimes it is you, but sometimes it's just good just to pull away so that you can take care of yourself, so that you can rest, so that you are not constantly taking care of everyone else, so that you are constantly not pouring from an empty cup. Because we do pour from empty cups. We always say, don't pour from an empty cup, or you can't pour from an empty cup, but we do all the time. Child, walking around here dry as I don't know what, pouring from empty cups. And we've got to stop doing that. Right. And so the thing here is you spend so much time on and with everyone else that you rarely spend time alone with yourself to take care of yourself, to tap into yourself, to tune in with yourself, to ask yourself, what do you need in this moment? What feels good to you in this moment? What do you feel like you need to be doing in this moment in order to minimize the madness, right? You might need to take a nap. You might need to take a walk. You may need to exercise. You may need to pull away from some things. You may need to stop hanging with some people. You may need to stop eating some things. Like there may be some things that you may need to do, but it's in the quiet time with God first, and then also with yourself, that you start to get clarity around what it is that you need to do. Right. And so you have to take the time between spending it between God and yourself. And I just said this, but to get clear on exactly what it is that you're also trying to accomplish, not necessarily even what you're trying to do, but you actually might be trying to accomplish some things. And you need clarity on that. Right. And so sometimes the reason there's so much madness and mayhem in your life is because you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you want. You don't know what you're supposed to be doing. And you don't know why you are pursuing a particular goal. Like, are you clear about why you're doing it? Are you doing it because somebody else is doing it? Are you doing it because somebody told you should be doing it? And so when you get quiet, you can get clarity. You can say, I really don't want to do this. Like, why am I doing this? You can get clarity on that. You know what I'm saying? And so spending time alone with yourself allows you to get clear also on the things that matter most to you. And so during this time, you may also want to get a journal, and you may want to write what you're hearing during this time or what you're feeling during this time so that you can come back to it and refer to it when things kind of get crazy again. Right. But it is so important for you to spend time with yourself. Get to know you again, because guess what? We're evolving. And so as we evolve, sometimes we got to take a step back and say, like, who am I in this season? Who do I want to be? And what does that look like? What is it going to take? And you got to be able to sit with yourself long enough to let it reveal itself and blossom over time. And you can't rush it. Okay. And so today's question, in addition to the first one, the second one is, how can getting quiet and spending more time with yourself minimize the madness in your life? How can getting quiet and spending more time with yourself minimize the madness in your life? So the first question is, how can spending more time with God minimize the madness in your life? The second question is, how can getting quiet and spending time with yourself minimize the madness in your life? We are always going to have things going on. There's always going to be, at some point in time, madness happening, right? Whether it's your fault or somebody else's fault, right? Or maybe it's not your fault. You just kind of hacked into a child. Who knows, right? Life be lifing sometimes. And when life is lifing, we got to be able to have some tools in our toolbox in order to be able to not only minimize, but manage it, and sometimes release it, because you recognize that it isn't anything that you can control. It isn't anything you actually have control over. And it isn't anything that you can actually do anything about. And so if it's not anything that you can actually do anything about, then my suggestion to you, for one, is to stop stressing over it. That's not even in hearing it, right? That ain't even, I don't even know. It might be in the other 5 that I'm going to give you. But you got to stop stressing over it. But a lot of times that comes with quiet time. It comes with breathing. It comes with taking a bath. It comes with like just, right? So how was that? Was this good for you? I hope so. Good tea, good tea, good tea. Woo! All right. So, if this was good for you, if you enjoyed it, I want to ask you to make sure that you are subscribed to my YouTube channel. I want to ask you to make sure you like this video, like all my videos. How about you just go and like them all? Also, make sure you comment below and let me know how this spoke to you. Like that helps me. And then also by you commenting, it helps YouTube put it out to other people. So can you help me help the people, right? Don't keep this to yourself. Like if you're watching this, can you share a comment? So that and like it, right? And then also not only comment, can you share this out, right? The best thing about YouTube that I love is that people, you can share the link with people who don't even have YouTube, right? They don't necessarily have to have a YouTube account in order to watch the video. And so I'm just going to ask you to share this with at least maybe two people, right? One or two people who you believe need to hear this, who need to be connected to the iSpeaklife community, the Trueheart Speaks community, and who need support in helping to get out of their own way, right? So that they can stop settling and show up for themselves in the same way that they show up for others, right? We all have been in those spaces where we feel ourselves showing up for everybody else. And to be honest, nobody is showing up for us, not even you. And so sometimes you have to get to a point where you have to pull back and decide, like, you know what? Nope, I'm pulling back, and this is my season of me, and I'm pouring into me, and I'm showing up for me, and I'm clapping for me, and I'm cheering for me, and I'm doing the work that requires me to go to the next level of my life in which area I'm looking, to go to that next level in. And so again, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like the post when I share the videos, comment, and then also share them out. That's my ask of you every single week, because that is how more people get blessed. That is how more people learn about me and what I'm doing. But I think it's more important that they get the information that they need in order to get out of their own way. So also, make sure that if you are interested in joining the inner circle, make sure that you go to iSpeaklifeinnercircle.com, in order to join us. We meet every month, twice a month, on the second and fourth Tuesday. You don't have to be there live in order to join. That's just when we meet, when we do meet live. You cannot join us at all on the Tuesdays and just catch the replays to get what you need, because that really is what it's about. The live call really is just an opportunity to be with me when I'm recording it. It doesn't require you to be there, right? Now, the accountability and the co-working, I would encourage you to want to come, because that's when you get a chance to meet with your other I Speak Life Inner Circle sisters. You get a chance to meet them, you get a chance to talk with them, you get a chance to pray with them. And it's just a bunch of fun on the fourth Tuesdays of each month. So, with that being said, I just want to say thank you for just continuing to support me. Thank you for continuing to watch the videos. Thank you for continuing to come to my master classes. Oh, and that was the thing that I wanted to talk about in the beginning. These first two, around spending time with God and spending time with yourself, literally are what I just taught in an extended 90-minute version for my pause masterclass. And so if that's something that you're interested in as well, I will tell you to click the link in the description down below, and you can get access to the replay for the pause masterclass. It's only $97, honey. It's worth it, right? So with that being said, again, thank you just for your support. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Thank you for showing up for you. And I think you're amazing. And I think that God thinks you're amazing. And so I'm excited that I get a chance to walk alongside you, even virtually, and help you get out of your own way. And so with that being said, I will see you next time on Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D.